Rob inspired a storytelling. And the spot where I'm telling this story is Madison, Wisconsin's dividing ridge between our lakes Monona and Wingra, circa 1890s. Um, the dividing ridge would be entirely gravel mined beginning roughly 10 years later. And through the magic of current technology, I am virtually reviving, resurrecting the dividing ridge. The dividing ridge is a series of 3 Indian mounds that were used for burial, for workshops, and for rituals, for gatherings. And until the internet came along, for many years, it was thought that no photos existed. And Rob, last week he talked about an open mic in which the electricity went off. For a long time, our electricity never went off, ever. But it's a lot more commonplace nowadays, and it was a lot more commonplace when I was a kid in the 1960s. I'm turning 71 years old this month in April of 2024. And the Beatles played their last gig at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. And only one song is remembered that night. And sometime during the concert, the electricity went off, and the and Paul and John went on stage with acoustic guitars and played a song that was never heard again until 1967. This was in 1963, and the song was When I'm 64. And another time, you see, in those days, there is a very big difference in months, several months, between the movies that would come to New York City and Los Angeles and when they would come to places like Madison, Wisconsin. And as a kid, we would be waiting and waiting for Mary Poppins to finally come to Madison. And when it did, my parents took me on a Saturday or Sunday at the time, my mom had a part time job at one of our hospitals as a cashier checking um, incoming and outgoing patients. And it was a part time job that she just had on weekends until our mortgage payment was finished. And then we would go to our um, university student union and have lunch. And they had this baked chicken that was just yum. So I was kind of taking my sweet time more than I should have eating it. And we were late getting to Mary Poppins. And a lot of other latecomers were there as well. And we were told that we could um, stay, but we had to find a place on the floor and wait. And we could see the movie because to this day, the Orpheum Theater, an old vaudeville theater, has glass doors to the auditorium. And it was no big deal seeing the ending because I already saw it in a comic book. And and when I'm talking about Mary Poppins, I'm talking about Mary Poppins in 1964. I haven't seen the more recent one yet. And there, in the 1964 version, um, there's a dance number led by a much younger Dick Van Dyke. And just as at the zenith of the dance number, when everybody's jumping in midair uh, over rooftops, the electricity goes off. All the latecomers are invited to come in and take seats. A scared teenage employee comes on the stage with a flashlight and proceeds to lead us all in a community sing. And then about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes later, the lights came back on. That they always would come back on, not long afterwards. And thank you very much.